So, the main story for today is the introduction of the mileage guarantee in OBD2. So, it is not, and I think I mentioned it somewhere, it is not something new that we are introducing today. It has been something which has been announced in 2016, and I will say we are carrying on the legacy. Why? Now, still coming to the question why?
OBD2.
In OBD2. See, I will say that in our product strategy, offering and Simar, can you go back to the brand purpose? Maybe I'll take it from as broad from there. So, if you read the brand purpose, our customers want success so that they can move up in life. Our agile, bold and collaborative people will offer tough, reliable and least cost of ownership products and services. So, 60% of TCO is fuel in a truck. So, when our brand purpose itself is stating that we will offer the lowest TCO trucks, right, to the customer. So, if we have to walk the talk, then this is what we need to do. So, I will say this is a proof of us walking the talk, and that brand purpose is just not one of the statement up there, right. So, this is thing. I will just complete. Going forward, I will say in our product strategy, offering higher fluid efficiency would be a cornerstone of our product strategy. I mean, this is something, I will put it this way, we may compromise on something else, we will not compromise on offering a higher fluid efficiency, and it is like this is one advantage position that we have taken, and we would not want to give it up so easily. So, this offers huge, I will be honest, it is huge work and stress in the field, because as a customer, even if you are a existing customer, you can always claim that your truck are not giving me adequate without doing the requisite work at the end. But that is the reason we have our team. So, we have an exclusive team called value establishment team, whose core job, so we have about 20 odd area offices in the field, one every state. Every state has one value establishment champion. So, the purpose of the only job of that particular team member is that to establish the value, when it comes to value, the fluid efficiency for the customer who has a dispute, etc. Besides, dealers also do it, that's their role that they do it. So, offers a huge thing. Coming to your thing, how much you are able to penetrate, so that is very difficult to quantify actually, right. But one thing I can, on a qualitative basis, one thing I can share with you is that I typically meet 8 to 10 customers in a month minimum. One thing, that moment I sit in front of the customer, before I do anything, customer बोलता है साहब माइलेज तो अच्छी देती है आपकी गाड़ी, पर तो कस्टमर का ओपनिंग स्टेटमेंट है सर माइलेज तो अच्छी देती है आपकी गाड़ी, है ना. So, I think that is what this has been able to do. Our repeated proving to the customer with the trials and all has been able to at least ensure that the customer, for a challenger brand like us, right, it has given us some foothold in the door. Chakan plant current capacity is about 38,000 trucks. 38 for trucks, and we make vehicles in Chakan as well as in Zahirabad. Zahirabad is another about 12 to 13,000. So, put together we have about 50,000 odd. We are nowhere close to it. So, at this point of time, from our last year total sale was about 13,000 units, right, both the plants put together. So, from a capacity point of view, we are very well sorted, right. The challenge right now is to increase the top line of the business, so that the capacity can be put under pressure. So, right now are there capacity challenges for truck and bus? I will say answer is no. For some specific segment, for some particular model and all that's a separate thing, but overall whether it is paint booth or it is TCF line or it is fabrication, the press shop. Is there a challenge? There is absolutely no challenge. So, the CV industry, it peaked, last peak was in 2019, after which the axle loading norm came, and after which the BS6 migration, then the COVID happened. Now we are seeing a V-shaped recovery. But even last year also, the TIV has still not crossed the F19 peak. We anticipate that now with the government, and I think I was having a word with him, hopefully with a stable government in the center, if this not this year, next year definitely the TIV anticipate will cross the peak of F19, and by 2027 we anticipate that a new peak of the CV industry would be reached. So that is as far as the overall CV is concerned. When it comes to various segments, so we operate in 4 broad segments, which is HCV, trucks, ICV, LCV and buses, where we have done very well and we have different market share. At a overall level, our market share for last fiscal was 3.4%, and quarter 1 exit, for quarter 1 our market share was 3.94%. That was our market share. Our first target is that MTBD in the highest, the best scenario what we have done, our peak market share was about 4.7%. That was in F20 at a overall level. I am not getting into segment wise. Our first immediate target is definitely to surpass that particular peak. Annual market share. For the year market share, surpass that, be around 5% plus market share will be our immediate target, and then within that in various sub segments we have different market share, and that again is a dependent on our addressability into various sub segments, our play in the market in terms of the number of dealers, etc., and many other factors. So one main thing is the addressability. So as we migrated from BS4 to BS6, our addressability came down substantially. I mean, I have these figures. So at a segment wise level, our addressability, for example, in trucks, our addressability in F19, which was our peak, was 97%. Last year, we closed our addressability as 79%, despite last 3 years or 4 years of product, right? Now take for example ICV range, our addressability was 76%. Last year we closed at 58%. So our addressability primarily came down, right? Number one. Number two, there was a renewed focus on ensuring the bottom line of the business, right? So restructuring of the business in terms of cutting down, bringing down the break-even point, right? We ensured that we brought down the break-even point also. We ensured that the business sustains, right? And now when the good part is last 4 years, the industry is growing at 30% CAGR. Truck and bus business is growing at 46%. So we are outpacing the industry by far. So that's the reason I'm saying the first immediate target is to go past that peak market share, and then from there on build upon the market share as we improve our addressability. So it's a 2-pronged strategy. One is that you increase your addressability from product, and B, from whatever products we have got in the market, can you outpace the industry growth and improve your market share. With addressability, what I meant was that so I'll pick up one example, and that I think that will addressability is that, see, the way CV industry is evolving, F19 for example, take in multi-axle vehicles. So multi-axle, so I'll give you 2 data points if you are with me on. Multi-axle vehicle used to be 50% of the total HCV. So if 100 HCV are sold, 50% what will get sold is multi-axle vehicle. This is F19, okay. In that 50%, 48 ton as a tonnage point was 0. There was nothing called 48 ton, okay. Now let's talk to F24, right. In 5 years, 50% of multi-axle, instead of that, multi-axle is only 1/3, 32% of the vehicles are multi-axle, but in that 32%, 55% is 48 ton. So half of multi-axles which are sold is 48 ton. So when I say addressability, as we are talking, see, one thing you have to realize, CV is a highly regulated industry, right? I mean, AC has become compulsory starting from next June, then ABS for vehicles less than 12 ton, right? It's a constantly evolving industry. So the various tonnage points, they get defined and redefined over a period of time. The ability and the to cover each and every tonnage point is far higher with the established dominant players, and is always a challenge for a challenger brand like us. So we have to anticipate what would be the next new game changer in terms of the, and that's what I mean by addressability. So it's the overall addressability of the various tonnage points in particular segments. That's what I'm talking about. It's not so much got to do with the the exit of some of the players and the dominance. Yes, what a bigger market leader will try to do is they will try to cover each and every tonnage point available, or what they're anticipating can happen, because they can afford to do that, right? They have the resource and wherewithal. Unlike a player like truck and bus business, we will pick and choose that maybe this segment. So for example, in trucks, we have decided that we will play in the higher tonnage points. Most of the people today have a 4-cylinder engine in the truck range, the bigger truck range, 28 and above. We don't have any 4-cylinder engine, because we have chosen that we will play in the higher tonnage points of HCV range, where 6-cylinder engine is good, and that's what is wanted by the customer. So we are picking and choosing in terms of our product strategy. Likewise, our front end strategy at a dealership level also, we are picking and choosing. Lower tonnage is also there, which people is becoming more and more cost competitive, as the reason which is precipitating the introduction of 4-cylinder engine. I mean, otherwise 4-cylinder engine for a 40-ton truck is unheard of, or for a tractor trailer 55 ton is unheard of, right? But over a period of time, what remains to be seen is what's the engine life that somebody will get. So I'm not right now getting into, we are convinced that to get a good engine life for that kind of duty cycle, you require a 6-cylinder engine. I am talking of power to weight ratio, yes, and I am also talking of the duty cycle that these trucks do with the kind of GVW. So imagine 55 ton GVW with a duty cycle of almost 1 lakh kilometer a year, right? So what's the engine life that you will get on a 4-cylinder? Remains to be seen. Let's see. We have a roadmap. Not sure if I can share with you the no, but we have a well good. So I'll put it this way: by F27, we would have surpassed our addressability which we had in F19. F19 was our peak in terms of addressability. By F27, in next 3-year time, we have a detailed product strategy roadmap, and we will ensure that we will surpass that addressability in every segment, all the 4 segments that we play individually. Anticipating that is what. So when we make, obviously when you make your product roadmap, you don't make it currently what it is, what it's going to be in times to come. And but then that's like the homework where our team does. We can go off, but at this point of time, the way we see the market shaping up, by F27, we have made our product plans. So the LPO Grande I talked about, which is a focus not only for staff segment, it is also a focus for your Mufassil or state carriage, as you talk about. That is one. The other thing that we see a lot of traction coming in is, there are 2 areas that we see a lot of traction coming in. One is this solid waste management and the cleaning part of the city, this suction cum jetting machines. These are the special, the urban applications, as you can see, right? Both municipal application, municipal is the right word, both for suction cum jetting as well as for solid waste management. So that's one area, because see, increasingly this concept of smart cities and the city cleanliness coming, so this is getting traction. The second area which we see a lot of potential is pertaining to mobile medical units, ambulance, right? So that's another area which we see a lot of potential.
Defense.
I will not talk defense because we don't do defense, but border, road and paramilitary forces, right? Their increasing requirement, troop carriers or tippers, but that volume wise it may not be as big as the first two which I talked about, which is solid waste management and the in the city applications.
You talked about mobile medical vans.
Yes, the second one is MMU and the ambulances. So what we did was we recently introduced our M-Dura tipper in 28 ton and 35 ton segment, and there were product improvements that we did, and we were weak in terms of the sub-segment market share, we were weak in tipper segment. So that's one thing that we have done. The second is that if you look at the third note in tipper, so in tipper there is a third note called 48 ton tipper. Right. We are not present in that, right? Yeah, we are not present there. That is the product that is, is the project is underway, and we intend to, seed in some vehicle hopefully this year. Start seeding this year and launch next year. So tipper as a segment will be our focus, and construction equipment and tippers, they complement. One good thing which has happened with our range is there is another sub segment which does very well in construction, is called transit mixtures. So we do very good consistent volumes of our transit mixture. So tipper and transit mixtures, these two will remain our focus in truck and bus, and graders and backhoe loaders will remain our focus in C. The good thing which happened with our network is that very few of the dealers left us. That's the good thing which happened, right? Very few dealers left us, switched the board or did anything. The not so good thing which happened is that COVID wiped away it was just not 1 year of COVID. I'll say COVID along with the OBD2 migration, that period was almost 2.5 years. That 2.5 years virtually wiped away their entire working capital, various profits and all which happened. Now that's something good, not good, that which happened. So as a result of which today we have about 80 odd dealers, but we have chosen to work with about 50 of them which we call as focus dealer, because given our bandwidth and given the state of affairs that various dealerships are in, we rather chose that this 50%. So I'll put it this way, those 50 dealers, they account for about 51% of the TAV, the market that they are sitting in, okay, those 50 dealers. But 85% of our sale, it comes from those 50 dealers. So so the way we are very focused on the product part of it, we are very clear that these are the geographies with whom we will work and scale them up to a level and then horizontally deploy that particular model. So we have been selective with our dealership as well. The focus is right now to increase the workshops in the market, be it with the dealer or authorized service center. So I'll tell you. So network type mein, one is the main dealer. So main dealer and his workshop. Second type is the main dealer of Pune, of let's say Jalandhar. He opens another workshop in Kapurthala. So that's a dealer workshop. Then we have a third type which is called an independent workshop, which has got nothing got to do with the dealer. He earns his livelihood by only servicing vehicles. In that also there are two types. One is he does only Mahindra vehicle. He is not allowed to do anything else. We call it Mahindra Customer Care Center, MCCC. And then there are something who will do Mahindra also, Tata also, Leyland also, but those we use mainly for the breakdown. So our breakdown ke liye we use something called authorized service center, who can do any truck, and MCCC and dealer workshops, both dealer as well as his 2S, we use for our normal repair as well as workshops. I'll tell you the potential possible non-vehicular revenue models, right, which can be pursued, some of them, and we are in various stages of that particular journey. So one is the recon business, as you are aware, right? And in recon, as of now we are doing engines and we are doing gearboxes, but the list is endless, right? And that too basically on D72 engine, but we can tomorrow do it for D35, we can do it for D25, and we can keep on increasing it, DPF, etc., we can keep on doing it. So that's one particular stream. The second stream is the annual maintenance contract, right, which we sell along with the vehicle. So, whether AMC or even free maintenance contract also. So, that is the second revenue source that we can do. The third one is, I know what you started your question with is that can we monetize the IMAXX and the data coming out of IMAXX. At this point of time, I will say that our focus in terms of monetization is not there. Right now, our immediate focus is to use IMAXX for the prognosis part of it and integrating it with the various ADAS features which are about to come, right, and integrating it with the ADAS system that we will offer in our trucks, right. Some of the things in IMAXX which can be in future monetized could be, let us say, on buses, a parent knowing on an app that what is the location of the bus, or the child has boarded, etc., etc. That could be a potential thing, but we have not decided if at all we will be monetizing it. Maybe we will be using IMAXX to improve the value for the customer instead of monetizing it. At least at this point of time, we are not looking at monetizing it. Today, so when any customer buys a vehicle, depending on whether it is a big truck, which is a Blazo or ILCV, the IMAXX along with a subscription of a certain period is free of cost to the end customer. After that, the customer has to just renew the subscription part of it. He does not pay anything for the hardware, he just has to pay to renew the subscription part of it. So, let us say for Blazo, first 3 years is free of cost along with the IMAXX. The customer need not pay, the cost of everything is along with the cost of the vehicle itself, right. It is just like M-Ashray, it comes inbuilt with the vehicle. But yes, after 3 years, the customer has to pay to renew the subscription for the IMAXX. But that subscription is just covering the basic cost of IMAXX. So, we are not looking at a revenue generation model through IMAXX that we offer it first 3 years free of cost and later on the customer pays and we make money out of that. Yeah, that's not the model. What IMAXX has the potential to be used is in that tomorrow we can tie up with a third party agency if we want. We, as of now, we have no such plans, right. Data, the customer data and all we setting, but as of now there is no such plan. We intend, and the simple reason is that IMAXX is one of our differentiator vis-a-vis the competition vehicles, and we intend to keep on sharpening it, using it even more, etc., etc. It is not that whatever we are offering telematics is not being offered by the competition. Every competition offers it today. It is just that what do you make out of the offering that you do. So, at this point of time, we are not looking at monetizing it. Even in spare parts also, there is some recent spare parts up till now was handled by a different company called MTWL, which has recently got merged into Mahindra and Mahindra, and that development has just happened a month ago. So, at this point of time, it will be not correct on my part to be commenting on and on the spare part business, but what I can say is spare part is a substantial, like any other auto OE, spare part is a substantial revenue as well as profit generation vertical in itself. As far as all the others are concerned, AMC and all, I will say it is very minuscule. The overall size of the business is about truck and bus including GST is 5,000 crore plus. In that scheme of thing, AMC and all this is very minuscule. Yeah. So, the challenge is not at a fleet operator level, the challenge is for the single operator level. So, and that is the reason when you see the renewal percentage is far lower when it comes to ILCV truck, because most of the ILCV customers are single vehicle operator or 2-3 vehicle operator. But when it comes to a big transporter has tasted the goods as far as IMAXX is concerned. So, this is a WIP for us. About 60% is the kind of renewal that we have, but we are not happy with it. So, and you guys would know better, and please correct my information. It was said that by 2025, 20% of cars in India would be electric cars. I have read this data, and that's what was predicted, right? 20%. I am told it's not even 5%. I mean, that's what I know. I don't track cars.
4 to 5%, yeah.
Yeah.
It's cars ka 2%.
2%. 2%. So 20% and 2%. Okay. Second, I am part of CVCO Council. So we ourselves got a study initiated by one of the top-notch consultant in the country, and whose job was to go to various stakeholders, including OEs, including customers, including ministries, including various people, and give us some roadmap which we can then take it up with the government as to how the transition into various fuel will happen or should happen in the country and all that. I have that report, and I can say whatever they predicted for 2025, I don't see that happening till 2030.
So, कब की report है? When was this? Which year?
About 2 years ago,
2 years.
2022. What they predicted for 2025 in trucks, we don't foresee happening. Coming now, this was just to give you a background. Coming to your question, your specific question. So we believe in Mahindra, we believe that at least next 5 to 6 years, at least till 2030 tak, diesel is going to be the mainstay for commercial vehicle industries. That's first statement. Number two, alternate fuels will come in various segments. Different level of alternate fuels will come, right? So for example, chances of trucks getting electric is slightly far-fetched. Maybe CNG, LNG will happen first, the heavier ones, and then probably H2 ICE will happen, right? May not be the electric will happen. Electric for sure, the way it has happened for two-wheelers, will happen for the LCV truck, will happen for the ILCV buses. School buses is the ideal case for electric, right? So different segment will have different penetration of alternate fuel. We are doing various proof of concept as an organization, and at an appropriate time we will ensure that we are not late in the market. But today, if you were to do the complete analysis, if I am not mistaken, about 90% of the CV industry today is still diesel. I mean, all put together, and CV fuel is about 55 to 60% of your overall cost of operation. Is the reason we are announcing it for diesel and not announcing it for the other 10% of the fuels. So we have where you went IMAXX, on the rear side of it, okay, because of the paucity of time, we have something called a centralized training center. This is at the HO level. Yeah. Apart from that, we have 3 more such regional training centers. So we have in north, we have in south, and we have in east, okay, which we utilize for training not only the drivers, we also utilize to train the dealer workshop staff also, and the mechanics also. So that's what we utilize to do. And if your question is towards driving training institute, if we have done something about it, there was something that we are planning to do, but post COVID then we have just stopped at this point of time. We are open to tying up with, so most of these are under government, state government purview. So we are open to tying up with the respective state government and providing aggregates and cut sections also, right? I am not too sure if on our own we will be very open to launching and opening driving training center on our own. But as far as the collaboration with the state government is concerned, yes, absolutely. But where there are various driver engagement, if your broader point is on the driver, so Sarthi Abhiyan, what you just saw, right?
To the CAM, what Siva made a point out there.
Yeah.
For the CAM, they do the customized driving program basis driver behavior analytics. Probably that will help out.
So 2-3 things that we do. So one is this, we engage with the drivers through various initiatives like M Ashray and Sarthi Abhiyan. Second is what Shiva also told, that our key account customers which are there. So obviously when we go and meet them, they have very specific and a unique requirement and all. So there for their fleet, along with their fleet manager, with their driver and all, we do some customized training as required by those particular customers. So there was a time when we were fairly, aggressive on exports. The challenge in exports that we are facing today is that most of the suppliers, they have migrated to supplying the BS6 compliant parts, whereas Africa and all, they have still, they want a BS3 thing. So we do service. So today also we do exports in Africa as a continent and SAARC countries, but the lead time to do those particular orders and all is slightly on a higher side. But going forward, we have good plans. So in long term, our plan is to piggy ride on our presence in various continents. So if you look at continent wise, we are present in South America, we are present in Africa, we are present in Australia, right? Obviously India as a South Asia as a continent, we are present. So idea is to leverage our presence of Mahindra Group in various continents and then build upon the same in terms of footprints. So for example, in Australia, we do very good number of Scorpio N. It's a very good accepted brand over there. In Brazil, right, our tractors have a they are planning to put up a assembly line over there. So Brazil, we are even sending some of the construction equipment vehicles also. So that's what we intend to leverage over a period of time, right? So we have a very good distributor in South Africa as a country for construction equipment, but we are using him now for our truck and bus as well. So that's what we mean by piggy riding on the existing footprints of dealer and distributors in the export markets. Absolutely, absolutely. GST, big time. Scrappage policy, which is voluntary as of now, you know. I mean, because imagine the kind of
Incentivization is also less.
very less in
Why would
India.
people want to go there?
Yeah, in India till the, I mean, the incentivization nowhere compares to the, the juice that the people take out by running the vehicle for 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. Why would anybody? But GST is something. But we have got my huge doubts. I think what government will do to compensate is the kind of money they will pump in even more now in the infra and the infra projects. They will commit upfront. They would anticipate that itself will kickstart the cycle again.